Hello friends, we can already see the detailed estimate part first. Today we see the detailed estimate part second. In this first is data required for preparing a detailed estimate. First is a drawing. Drawing is the basic form from which quantities of various items are worked out by the we can see the drawing. In the specifications, general specifications. In general, specifications, the nature and class or work and the names of materials that should be used are described. These forms are general idea for the project. First is general specifications. In that we can see the class or work of name of material is used. Next is a detailed specification. Detailed specification describe the every item of work in the estimate. These specify the qualities, quantities and proportions of materials in workmanship, the method of preparation and execution of different items of work in a project. This is the detailed specification. This specification of a work serves as a guide to the supervising staff of the contractor as well as the owner to execute the work to their satisfaction. It is the used the detailed specification. Next is the rates. Quantities of different items of work are estimated from the drawings and these are multiplied by the rates, which is already we can see in the measurement sheet and abstract sheet. So rates for different items of works are vital factors to determine the estimated cost. Normally the engineering departments provide with the current schedule of rates per unit of work, materials, wages of labor, transport, etc. When such rates is not found in the schedule, the order work by the analysis of the rates or analysis of the material. Next part is the updated mode of measurement. Updated mode of measurement means for the standard deduction or additions, it is also necessary to determine the correct quantities of works. Next is standing circulars. Standing circulars for taxes, insurance, etc. are required for the fix up the rates of those items which are not in the schedule of rates. It is also more useful for that. For taxes and insurance, it is required to fix up the rates which items which are not included in the schedule of rates. Next part is the factors to be considered during the preparation of a detailed estimate. What are the factors to be we can consider? First is the quantity of materials. For a large construction, a large quantity of materials is required, which can be purchased at a rate cheaper than the rate of materials required for minor work. Therefore, rate of work should be framed considering the volume of work. Therefore, the volume of work or quantity of material is first factor for this. Next is the availability of material. When we can estimate the cost of a particular item is higher than the scheduled rate if there is no assurance that the material will be available as and when required, and it is detrimental to the progress of the work if the workers and maintaining staff remain idle for the paucity of materials. This is also the main part, availability of material. Next is a transportation of material. If smaller quantities of materials are required to be transported to a considerable distance, the proportionate net cost of transportation becomes higher in comparison with the cost of larger quantity transported at a time. So transportation of material also are the important part of them. Next is a site location or location of site. It is also a major part of that. If the site of work is located at the odd place or any uneven place for which loading, unloading, stacking and restacking of materials are necessary several times due to different kinds of journey, the possibility of damage or loss transmit should be considered carefully. So site of the location is a important part. Next is local labor charges. Skill and daily wages of the local labor should be considered before preparation of detailed estimate as per the schedule of rates. or schedule of rates. Next is the contingencies. Contingencies indicate the incidental expenses of a miscellaneous character which cannot be reasonably predicted during the preparation of estimate. It should be additional amount of 3 to 5% according to PWD specification or according to that area's PWD of the estimated cost of work is provided in the total estimate. The miscellaneous incidental expenses which cannot approximately be classified under any district subhead may be debited to the subhead contingencies. This is and also the work charged establishment. Work charged establishment will include such as temporary establishment are employed for the execution of the immediate technical supervision or departmental stores or machinery in connection with a specific work. For such work charged establishment, the amount of 2 to 2.5% according to their practice of PWD workers or PWD engineers of the estimated cost of work is provided in the estimate. Next is tools and plants. For a large project, it became necessary to use special type of tools, plants, etc. Special type of concrete mixing machines called batching plants, special type of mixed concrete transport vehicles called tripping vehicles or dumpers, cranes, etc. For the large type of projects, the cost of such special tools and plants which are not for general use by the work is considered. So it is also the part of the detailed estimate. Next is the market rate. This is also indicates that cost per unit at which the article can be procured at a given time from the open market. The cost should be included to carriage or incidental charges. So market rate is also useful for this. Lump sum item. Lump sum item is this item which is difficult to measure for during the execution or access, which is calculated by the lump sum rate. Next is the schedule of rates. To facilitate the preparation of estimate, we guide setting rates in connection with the contract agreements. A schedule of rates for each kind of work commonly executed, with works, material, wages of labor, transport, etc. should be maintained by different engineering department or authorized organization, which is PWD, ZP, etc. Next is the supplementary items. These are the extra or substitute due to change in specification. That is, if the grade of concrete is changed to 1:3:6 to 1:4:8, then items of work having no approval rates if the contract required for satisfactory completion of project without affecting the drawings and design, provided the expenses for such works can be made up from the contingency fund. This is the supplementary items. Prime cost. Prime cost is the net cost or purchase cost of article at shop and refers to supply the article only, not to carrying out the work. Next is the provisional sum. Provisional sum is an amount arbitrarily provided by an experienced estimator in the total estimated cost of the project to carry out some special type of work, whose details cannot known at the time of preparing the estimate. Next is the bill of quantity or schedule of quantity. This is the complete list of all items we can prepare, or these items of work included in the connection with the estimate for a project with the description, quantity and unit of rate against each item of work. This is the main part of estimate. Thank you. We can see all the details of the estimate today. Thank you very much.